Hi there. Today I'm going to answer the question, what is sex and intimacy coaching? And especially in my case, what is experiential sex and intimacy coaching? Because that's what I do. So experiential means that it's hands-on. We actually do sensuality, sex, and intimacy, like for real, in the studio, within the container of from 1 to 2:30. It's like real interaction between human beings happening. Now, the reason I know it sounds a little bit out there, but bear with me here. I'm going to explain. Like, the reason why I feel it's so important that for me to do this work is that there's this vast amount of dysfunction in the realm of sensuality and sex and intimacy, and no matter how many books you read and no matter how many videos you might watch, it's like, because it is so real, it's like trying to learn an instrument by reading a book, or trying to learn an instrument by watching a video. You can't really get there. I mean, you got to practice. And the thing with sex and intimacy is, like, most people want to practice with other human beings. So what I'm really teaching is these very high-level, personal, interrelating, like how to be in your body, connected to what you desire, connected to what's pleasurable for you, while being in relation to another human being. And I know, it sounds like it should be natural, but it's really actually quite complicated. And we don't have really good systems for teaching that to people. For most people, it's kind of hit and miss, the education that they get around sensuality and sexuality and intimacy, and I'm trying to change that. So a lot of the foundation of this work is about communicating what you desire, like communicating what feels good to you and what you want, like in terms of touch, in terms of sensual, intimate activities. There's a lot to that particular piece of, like, knowing what you want and being able to ask for it. You actually have to know. Like, a lot of women come to see me and they have no clue what they want, because they've never been asked. Their whole sensual, sexual, intimate life has been in response to what other people want. And what they want is like a complete mystery to them. So a big part of what I do is, like, I make little invitations, I make little offers. It's just like, why don't we try this? Why don't we try this? Why don't we try this? And then help women to kind of build this repertoire of, like, oh, I like this. This is good. Let's do more of this. And actually building the skills of asking for what they want, like in very specific, confident, direct, and charming ways. There's also a whole piece of, like, feeling like you deserve to get what you want. And there's a lot of emotional work that goes along with that. So this is all kind of rolled into sensuality, sex, and intimacy coaching, experiential. There is just plain old fashioned sensual touch skills, like learning how to give good sensual touch, learning how to receive good sensual touch. There's a wealth of learning for most people there. Sensuality and intimacy and sexuality is just so much more than what we usually see, for example, portrayed to us in, like, porn, or, it's so much more than kind of like maybe the 2-minute kind of like that you got with your ex-husband or whatever that didn't work for you. So I mean, like, there's this wealth of learning, and actually, like, there's all of these good things that can happen with touch and bodies, and so I teach that. And again, I teach it hands-on. I teach it experientially. And like a huge part of this work is all about pleasure-based consent. Like using pleasure, using the information that your body is telling you, like your senses are telling you, to determine what you want to do and what you don't want to do, and being able to communicate that to another person, and having a space where your desires, what you want, which is pleasurable, is totally respected. So that is a big part of experiential sensuality, sex, and intimacy coaching. Okay, so that's just kind of a basic overview, and hey, if you want to find out more, just give me a call, drop me an email. I'm happy to share with you more about the work and myself, and of course you can find more on my website, Erosha.com. Thanks very much. I'm Bournes, and I hope to meet you in person soon.